Good morning, dear students.
Good morning, sir.
Hope you all doing well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after having discussed the grammar translation method, let us now discuss the direct method of English language teaching. Dear students, direct method came as a reaction to the translation method. Its basic principle is that students should think directly in the foreign language. What did we see in the translation method? That students are not able to speak through English. They are not able to express through English. Their spoken skills are not good. They are good at grammar, they are good at say written English, but they are not good at spoken English. That's why this came as a reaction to the translation method, the direct method. Its basic principle, as I told you, that the students should think directly in the foreign language. That means they shouldn't think in their mother tongue first and then translate. No, they should think directly in the foreign language. So this is, I must say, the foremost principle of the direct method. And if I rightly remember, I might be, the words might be a little different, but according to Webster's New International Dictionary, Webster, this is a very easy, in fact, definition, so you can remember Webster I'm talking about. Okay, according to Webster's New International Dictionary, direct method is a method of teaching a foreign language, especially a modern language like English we are talking about, through conversation. Okay, through conversation, that is through dialogues, through discourse. Do you understand? Okay, say through discussion, like we have good discussions in the world, and reading in the target language itself. What did we do there in the translation method? What did we see? Like we were translating each and every word into the mother tongue. But here, we learn the foreign language through discussion, through discourse, through conversation, you may say, or say we read in the target language itself. We try to understand the text, whether you are doing a poem or say a story. You try to understand the meaning in English itself, the target language itself. So this is the definition of this is the definition given in the Webster's dictionary. Okay, what I mean here, first words are taught by pointing to objects or pictures or by performing actions. Like in translation method, what did you see? You saw that words were translated into the mother tongue. But here, words are either explained with the help of definitions, or you may say picture clips are shown or situations are created. This is how the meanings are told. Now here, I'm reminded of Harold E. Palmer. Harold E. Palmer. Yeah, Harold E. Palmer is a very popular name in linguistics, a great linguist, I must say. According to him, the direct method has some important features, and the first feature, if I talk about, is that translation in every shape is banished from the classroom. Okay, translation in every form is banished from the classroom, including the use of mother tongue and of the bilingual dictionary. Like the teacher keeps a bilingual dictionary in a translation class, but when you're teaching through direct method, the bilingual dictionary does not have any room. The mother tongue does not have any room. Mother tongue is in fact kept away outside the classroom. It's kept away. Okay, it has no room. It has no room there in the direct method as it has there in the grammar translation method. Okay, well, grammar, when it is taught inductively, but you must have seen, like in the translation method, rules are told. Students just learn the rules by heart, and they are good at rules, they know the rules, yet they are not able to speak English. But here, sentences are taught, structures are taught. They first learn how to speak English, then rules are formed. Okay, they are asked to explore the rules themselves. First, a lesson is taught, Now the lesson might be based on, say, future indefinite tense or say future perfect continuous tense. Like language, books or say chapters are planned with a set plan of structures or grammar, you may say, and students are themselves asked to find out, evolve the rules themselves. So grammar is taught inductively. This is what I'm trying to say. Grammar is not taught for its own sake. It is not an end itself. Okay. Also, another principle, very important principle, I would say, is oral teaching predominates any form of reading and writing. There, reading is important, or say grammar is important. Here, what is important? Oral teaching is important. Spoken skills are important. A teacher, tries to improve the spoken skills of his students. He knows once the spoken skills are improved, once they know how to communicate themselves, once they understand the meaning of the text, then they would themselves know the rules. Okay, it would not be difficult for them to understand the rules. So rules are not taught first. What is taught? Use is taught first. So oral teaching, you may say, predominates any form of reading and writing. Again, the use of disconnected sentences is replaced by the use of connected sentences. Like, here in grammar translation method, what do? You have disconnected sentences, you have words and all, but here you have connected sentences, means complete sentences, meaningful sentences, you may say, with the pattern S plus V plus O plus C plus A. So complete structures are there, connected speech is there, connected sentence, not the disconnected ones. And another principle, according to Harold E. Palmer, is like pronunciation is to be taught systematically on a more or less phonetic lines. We have read phonetic transcription. We have read all the 44 phonemes. So pronunciation is to be taught according to Harold E. Palmer. If you're teaching through direct method, then teach pronunciation, say, on the phonetic lines. That means students should be taught how to refer to a pronunciation dictionary. Do you remember the name of the dictionary which I referred earlier while I was teaching phonetics? Yes, Daniel Jones pronunciation dictionary. Or you may say refer to Oxford dictionary. Okay, New Oxford dictionary, New Learners Oxford dictionary. That is a wonderful dictionary. A Cambridge dictionary, a Webster dictionary, a Collins dictionary for that matter. No bilingual dictionary is to be used in a direct in a class where English is taught through direct method. Okay, and then again the meanings of words and forms are to be taught by means of object or by natural context. By means of object, suppose if I am like say how do you write handkerchief? Spell it out. Yes.
HANDKERCHIEF.
Okay, now this is. So instead of telling the meaning of handkerchief in the mother tongue, like what it means rumal, what a teacher would say if he is teaching through direct method, he would either explain or he would show. Okay, he would show that, well, this is handkerchief. This is called as handkerchief, right? So the pictures are shown, images are shown, or sometimes they are drawn by the teacher, or sometimes the teacher brings the charts and all, or say some visual images. He uses audiovisual images also to explain the meanings of words to his students. So how meanings of words are taught? They are taught by means of objects or by natural context. Situations are created, you may say, or say it is told in the context where the word occurs. Okay, and again, the vocabulary and the structures of the language are taught to a large extent by questions asked by the teacher and answered by the students. he would be repeatedly asking students questions, and the students would be answering them. This is how the language is taught, or the vocabulary is taught. Vocabulary is not taught, like the individual words are given and the students are asked to, okay, just see the meaning there in the dictionary and learn them by heart. This is not the case in the direct method. How vocabulary is taught, how words are taught, they are taught in the context. Okay, while a teacher is teaching the lesson, he would tell the meanings of the difficult words. He would either demonstrate them or like ask the students to use it in their sentences so that they understand the use also. Well, if we talk about the aim of direct method, then the direct method aims at establishing a direct bond, okay, a direct bond between thought and expression, which you do not see in the translation method. There is no bond between thought and expression. Here there is a bond, and there is a bond between experience and language also. When I say a bond between thought and expression, what do you understand by this? Like, in the translation method, as you saw, students first think in English and then they express themselves in English. Okay, first they think in the mother tongue, then they express. Yeah. So there is no bond here. Whereas here in the direct method, there is a bond between thought and expression. Why? Because they are thinking in the target language, that is in English, in the foreign language, and they are also expressing themselves in English. So there is a direct bond. That's the aim of direct method. A teacher teaching through the direct method aims at establishing a direct bond between thought and expression there in his students. He wants them to think in English and express in English. Okay, the idea is that the learner should experience the new language, the foreign language, here the English language you are talking about, in the same way in which he experiences mother tongue, in which he experiences the mother tongue. So this is a natural way, you may say, natural way of learning a language. In the translation method, the foreign concept or idea is first translated into the mother tongue and then understood. Is it not? Do you remember? First, the idea is translated into the mother tongue, and then it is understood in the foreign language. But this is not the case there in the direct method. In the direct method, the interference of the mother tongue is done away with. The interference of the mother tongue is done away with. That means the mother tongue is kept away from the English language classroom. The learner understands when he hears or reads in the foreign language without thinking of the mother tongue equivalence. He listens to his teacher speaking English, the text is read in English, it is explained in English, so his ears become accustomed to listening to the words and sentences of English language. So he hears or reads in the foreign language without thinking of the mother tongue equivalence. He doesn't have to think. Okay, he becomes that much competent, that much proficient to think in English itself. Likewise, he speaks or writes a foreign language without the need of translating his idea or thought from the mother tongue into the foreign language. Okay, he doesn't need to think in the mother tongue. He thinks directly in the foreign language and he speaks out his mind, whatever is there. Okay, he begins to think in the new language as efficiently or say as fluently as he does in the case of his mother tongue. When suppose if I am speaking in Urdu or I am speaking in Hindi, do I need to think in any other language? No, I don't need to. I think in the mother tongue and I speak in the mother tongue. So this is the natural way. When a student has learnt English, when he has learnt all the four skills, it is said that a person knows the language only when he has acquired all the four skills. So if a person has already acquired all the four skills, then only we say that he knows the language. So once a student knows the language, when he has learnt the language, the foreign language, then he doesn't require to think in the mother tongue. It doesn't require the mother tongue equivalence. I must say that he acquires that instinctive, unerring language sense which we all possess. in varying degrees in the mother tongue, and which say superseding all rules, grammar and dictionaries, say resting at the bottom of the direct association between experience and expression. This is the only, I must say, the sure guide in the use of language. Means you must acquire the unerring sense. You must know that whatever you are speaking correctly. Means there are no errors. You you become say flawless, infallible. Okay, infallible. You acquire the unerring language sense, and it is something like instinctive, the inherent, like we have in the language sense of the mother tongue. So same, I must say, the unerring language sense is acquired if you are taught through the direct method. You have the same language sense which we all possess, while we speak the mother tongue, or while we use mother tongue. Okay. So this is what. So Harry E. Palmer, we discussed the principles as told by him, and we discussed the aims, and like again, if we have a look of the principles of the direct method once again, then I would like you to understand that the most important thing, if you remember, even Palmer has pointed it out. What is important? Oral training is important. Okay, what is important? Oral training or oral skills. Spoken skills, that means. Spoken skills, oral training. Direct method emphasizes the value of oral training in learning a language. The students are provided sufficient practice in listening to the language and then speaking it. The teacher speaks all the time in English. They listen to him, and then they acquire the ability to speak in English, the ability to speak in the foreign language. It also lays emphasis on knowledge of phonetics. Okay, phonetics, correct pronunciation is taught to them to acquire an intelligible pronunciation. Do you understand the word intelligible? Intelligible. You know sometimes our pronunciation is faulty, or most of the time I must say our pronunciation is faulty. That is why we are not intelligible to the native speakers of English. Like people from England do not understand us. Why? Because we have a faulty pronunciation. So what flaw do we have? We are not intelligible to them. Do you understand now? Yes, we are not understood by them. So once you learn the phonetic alphabet, okay, and if you start using phonetic symbols there in your speech, means once you acquire the right pronunciation, then you become intelligible. So this is also one of the principles of the direct method, that the students are provided sufficient practice in listening to the language, to the foreign language, and then speaking it. Okay, and I said it lays emphasis, stress on knowledge of phonetics to acquire an intelligible pronunciation. Okay, now you understand what is intelligible pronunciation. Okay, tell me, what is intelligible pronunciation?
That we are understood by the foreign language speakers.
Okay, very good. We are understood by the native speakers of English. If we are understood, then we are intelligible, and we should be intelligible to each other also, to one another also. Okay, like even when like some students, like if I ask them to explain themselves or explain something or express themselves, in fact, their ideas and all, they are not intelligible. Why? Because their pronunciation is not good. Okay, they do not speak with proper intonation. So oral training helps in the direct association of words of the foreign language with the objects and ideas for which they stand. Like if I say handkerchief, they would spontaneously have the image in their mind. Okay, so the objects that they see around, they stand for words of the foreign language. Is that fine? Like if they see the board, they would say, well, this is whiteboard. If they see this, they would know that this is a marker. Okay, a pen, whatever, or the spectacles. So objects, stand for the words, or words when they have words there in their mind, they know what do they stand for. Okay. And the most oral training is important. Let me write it so that you remember. Okay. I would write just laconically. Okay, that's the important words, not the entire sentences. Is I would say inhibition of mother tongue. Inhibition. Second important principle you may say is inhibition of the mother tongue. Inhibition of the mother tongue. The teacher aims to improve the oral skills of his students, and he makes it sure that the mother tongue is kept away from the classroom. Okay. So what is it? Inhibition. Means mother tongue in a way a kind of taboo in a direct English language teaching class. Okay, it's a kind of taboo. It's forbidden. It's forbidden. So what do you have? Inhibition of the mother tongue. This is the important point. Like another way, I must say, this is another way of securing a direct bond between expression and thought. Expression and thought. Like if you allow your students to speak in Hindi, to communicate in Hindi, to express themselves in Hindi, then they will not be able to develop a direct bond between expression and thought, or say experience and language. So what is to be done? The mother tongue has to be kept away. It should be forbidden. Right? So that is to say, so far as possible, mother tongue is not used in an English classroom. It's not used in an English classroom. The students are taught new words by actually showing them the objects for which they stand, or by performing actions. Teacher has to be a good actor also. Like sometimes the action words are to be explained. The teacher should act, or he may call his students and ask them to enact different gestures, or by say suitable illustration in the context. Sometimes he may show pictures, clippings, picture slips, or he may make use of audiovisual aids. Okay, that's fine. Do you understand this?
Yes.
So this is oral skills, and then you have inhibition. Okay. Now, if I continue this inhibition, do you understand what is inhibition? Inhibition. Taboo. English language in an English language class where English is taught through direct method, I said that mother tongue is a taboo. Mother tongue is not allowed. It's forbidden. What do you understand by this?
That it should not be used in a class where direct method is being used.
Very good. Very good. It should not be used in a class. The louder, please.
That it should not be used in a class where direct method is being used by the teacher.
Very nice. Okay. Very nice. Please sit down. So this enables the students think in English. If you're teaching through the direct method, through the English language itself, through the foreign language itself, what does it do? It enables the students to think in English, in the target language. They learn to respond directly in the foreign language. Okay, at the initial stage, it may not be that easy for the students to avoid the tendency to think in their mother tongue. As their knowledge of the foreign tongue, foreign language develops, this habit dies away. If you're teaching, say, very young students, because they are all the time listening to the mother tongue at their home, in the market, so they are listening to the mother tongue everywhere. So they might find it difficult to communicate in English, or to express themselves in English, or to write things directly in English. Initially it might be difficult, but gradually they would pick it up. So if students are not able to pick up, that doesn't mean that that the teacher should get disappointed and he should give up the direct method and start teaching in the translation method. No, he should never do that.